All right. Hello, 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 hello. Welcome back to another fabulous episode with the one, the only, the fabulous Meredith McVehil. Meredith, the money coach. Meredith, love ya.
Hi, Sean. Same to you. You have the best energy. You are contagious. Contagious in
Well,
a good way.
contagious in a good way. Contagious in a good way. Especially in COVID. Contagious in a good way.
Always been that way. You really are.
Thank you.
Great. Bet. Yeah.
Well, we love having our fun, and we're talking money, which is one of my favorite subjects, especially figuring out how to navigate some of the craziness of it all. And so I'll start off. The title in this one is Sinking Fund.
Yeah.
So people are asking, what's a sinking fund? What your husband, Jeff, what does he call it?
He calls it the sinkhole.
The sinkhole.
Yeah.
So for those people who are going, what are these people talking about sinking?
Right.
What is a sinking fund?
Right. Okay. Good question. So as you know, Sean, I am a money coach and I guide people to just have a cash flow plan, to just tell their money where to go, help them get out of debt and so forth. And so a great tool that I coach my customers on, a little free advice for your viewers today, is that we have, so what we suggest is really just two accounts. So of course, if you're married or single, married, joint account, and no separate accounts, right? That's a whole other subject. And then if you're single, one account that's your checking account where you're paying your bills out of, right? And then what do we do with those irregular expenses, like car repairs, right?
Yeah.
Or personal property tax on your car that hits again. Always do, right?
We got that in Missouri. I remember we didn't have it in Illinois. We came to Missouri.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
And it hits always at Christmas time, right?
Yeah.
It's
right.
Right. And then vet, if you're a dog or cat lover, or if you have any sort of animal, vet bills, right?
Yep.
Association dues, those kinds of things. So those are irregular, right? So what I suggest to customers is to create a sinking fund. And what that is, it's an account that's tied to your checking account. So you have $1,000 in there as your buffer or your emergency fund, which is baby step one in the coaching. And then you establish a fund. I just create a simple spreadsheet, or my customers do. And okay, every month I'm going to set money aside for these irregular expenses. Well, how do I know how much to set aside, right? Well, you can look at the bank statements. So like what we did was we look at the bank statements for what we spent on my car repair last year. It averaged to be about $50 a month. I drive a 4-year-old car. It's not horrible, but if you set aside $50 a month, sure enough, I had a $450 repair a couple weeks ago. And so we had the money set aside. So you just create that, or property taxes on your car. You can get a pretty general idea of what it's going to be. It might just be $30 or $40 a month. Set it aside. So then when the end of the year comes or the bill comes, you have that money there. So all of a sudden the $450 repair isn't a reason to open up another credit card. It's not a reason to wait, oh my gosh, but what about food? You're not taking it out of the everyday budget. You're taking it you're taking it out of the sinking fund. So it creates some peace of mind that you're prepared, because life is going to happen. The car is going to need to be repaired. The dog's going to get sick. The association's going to come back with a bill. All these things happen, and that way you have money set aside for it. I love the sinking fund. It creates so much peace of mind to know that money is there. Does that make sense?
Yes, it totally makes sense. And, back in my commercial real estate days, we call that our reserves.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. So for those that don't know, I used to sell commercial real estate, and it was a commercial broker for a number of years. And, so take a roof, for example. We know that the effective life of a roof is about 15 years, especially on a commercial property. So what we would always build into our pro forma or our little evaluations and figuring out what this property was really worth, right, is look at the reserves that we would need to put in that would be taking away from profits for typically our clients.
Yeah.
And well, a roof on a commercial building is a lot different than a roof, where people wait on their house and say, oh, we'll just wait till a hailstorm and then have insurance pay for part or most of it. And then that's the best time to replace a roof on your house.
Right.
Well, on a commercial building, it's not the same thing, right? And the insurance is a whole lot more. So they know that the best thing is preventative maintenance, whether that be, especially if it's a flat roof, something every other year that they have to account for that expense. And then a big one every 15 to 20 years, where it's a complete roof replacement. And I know on one building, a condo building in Chicago, that was upwards of $125,000, $150,000 to fix the roof and repair it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Wow.
well, that sounds like a lot. There was 140 units, but that's still about $1,000 per unit to replace that roof. Now, if they're not expecting that, that's a big burden. But
Absolutely.
we can't count on, you know, everybody having an extra $1,000. So what do? We build up our reserves in that scenario, and people can do that in their own lives.
Yeah,
So
that's
very
right.
important stuff.
Yeah, it's really great. And it just creates some peace of mind to go, oh, yeah, or a medical bill, right? You go to
Oh
the dentist,
yeah.
you have a copay, and maybe you build it into the next month's budget to pay it. But the number one cause of bankruptcy is medical unpaid medical bills for people that don't have health insurance. Medical
Oh
bills, in
wow.
these days, you have about a 30-day window to pay a medical bill, and then it goes to collections. Well, they're doing that because the healthcare companies don't want to chase people to pay it, or they don't want to
Right.
pay people to chase it, I should say. So there's just so many wonderful, healthy reasons to have a sinking fund. And the most is just to give you the peace of mind, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and I think any of this stuff, and that's what I love about financial peace,
yeah,
is it does give you peace of mind
it does. It does.
across the board. So Meredith, this is I love conversation. We're gonna have you on future episodes too. Just I don't know if we can record any more today.
I love
So where can people find out more about you and certainly your coaching?
Well, thank you so much. So I have a Facebook group. It's growing. I'm so excited. It's called Meredith's Money Matters. So Facebook group, just ask to be a member of that. Again, Meredith's Money Matters. If you want to have an exploratory phone call just to see if coaching is right for you in terms of money, or you're just really sick of tired of where you're at, please go to ramseycoach.com/Meredith. And on there you can set up,
/ Meredith. I love that you're the only Meredith there.
I know, so far.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Get early.
Phone call. I did.
And we'll make sure to put that down in the show notes too, so everybody, in case you misspell Meredith or whatever, or Ramsey, which is also we had another John Ramsey who spells Ramsey a different way.
Oh,
So good stuff. We'll make sure we put in the show notes so you can easily find Meredith. And big shout out to Jaleesa in the background, our fabulous media coordinator and co-sponsor Medici Media Space for supplying the show and what we're doing and doing all the things technically that I just don't like to do on my own all the time. Jaleesa, do you have a question for Meredith or any something new that you got out of this conversation?
No, I don't. This was another great conversation. It's just good to hear it repetitively in different ways too, because it sinks into your mind better. So thank you, Meredith.
Oh, you bet. And another thing, another great use for the sinking fund is gifts. So for example, I didn't even mention that, but gifts is another way to set money aside every month, for Christmas or something like that. So anyway.
Christmas, weddings, any type of gifts. If you have kids, somebody's going to invite you to a birthday party and all of a sudden, when are they going to do it? Well, it's probably going to be during the school year because everybody's gone during summer. So be ready for it.
What's that? That's school.
Exactly, right? It's like, just be ready for it. Doesn't matter.
That's right.
If you have kids, be ready for it.
Be ready. Yeah, no kidding.
It's awesome. Meredith, thank you so much. Always a pleasure to be with you and just get that money wisdom and insight from you.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for having me, and I love your enthusiasm and the fact that you and Michelle have done it yourself. It's life altering to get out of debt and live a life of freedom. Yeah.
Yeah. It allows you to breathe in a whole different way.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah. The peace thing. Yeah. It's wonderful. So thank you for having me. You're just a treasure.
Oh, right back at you. All right, everybody. Like we always say, we may not see you in person, but we're always going to see you right here on social media. Thanks for watching.